I love all my haters. This isn't just fashion, it's a movement. At Retired Rockstar, we turn hate into fuel, proof you're living loud and staying legendary. Featured here is musician Gino Black, rocking the I Love All My Haters limited drop and the G-Shades collection. Tap in and join the movement at retiredrockstarbrand.com. For a limited time, all trucker hats 25% off, and all OG logo tees are just $19.99. Because legends don't wait, they move. Retired Rockstar, live loud, stay legendary.
That's correct. I just got back from Peru.
And this was a pleasure trip, not a
pleasure trip. Yeah, this was pleasure. Yeah, this was pleasure trip.
Clear your mind, enjoy
your
life.
mind. Right now, in the I guess I call it the prime. The prime ages of my life now is you got to have a full-time job, and my full-time job right now I had to once I pulled back from touring a little bit, started a family, got married, but that didn't work out. So, living the best life now. But I'm a full-time school.
That's 2 Dolo trips in the last year and a half, ain't it?
That's correct. Bruh. That's correct. Yeah.
I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah, the first one after I was married, the first one I went to Vietnam and Thailand.
Yeah.
Love Vietnam. Oh my God. We've been to over 35 countries in the world. Vietnam's my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite.
Really? It took the top spot.
Top spot. Top position. And Thailand, close second. But Peru, we went to see Machu Picchu, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like my bucket list now. I gotta go see all the 7 wonders of the world. So
that's my bucket list too. See, I still need to get to Egypt, so I'm very envious of that.
So that was definitely one. My next one is next year. I'm gonna do the Great Wall of China. So that's also on the horizon. I'm gonna price that out now.
Okay. Traveling the world, like you said, get your passport, people. We were talking about for gigging earlier, but just in life, like I love to travel. That's the only thing I don't regret spending money on is traveling abroad.
That's the only way to spend money. You can buy anything. Everything you buy is going to depreciate as soon as you walk out the store. What never depreciates is the memories and the experiences. Those are things you forever.
The experience is priceless. That's the only money that I ever, like, even when I was traveling super duper heavy for a couple of years. Some was for work, but a lot of it was for pleasure too. The only thing that I can say when I had to come out of pocket for my own money for my personal trips was one year I think I spent, it was some stupid, ridiculous amount of money. It was like $5,000, $4,000 or $5,000 or something in a short amount of time. I'm like, where the fuck was I going? What the fuck was I doing? However, because of the experiences that I had, that didn't upset me as much as, for example, like that $4 or $5 grand didn't affect me after the initial shock of seeing the number on my report. As say, even something like I'll be pissed off if I waste $300 on some bullshit and I know it's going to be torn apart and I got to replace it in less than a year anyway.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, my flight to Vietnam was $2,400 just for the round trip ticket. $2,400 to get over there. But when I was there,
it was cheap, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Yo,
excuse me, let me say it was inexpensive.
It was inexpensive. It was super inexpensive. My hotel for 7 days, I was 7 days in Vietnam, 7 days in Thailand. Mm-hmm. The flight from Thailand to Vietnam round trip was like $80. My hotel, what's the distance there? It was about an hour flight.
Now, what size plane we talking? We talking a crop duster, or we talking?
No, we're talking about a 2 on this side, Airbus, 2 on that side. Airbus, yeah, the same with like when you get to Airbus.
Okay.
And exactly.
Okay, cool.
You're there in an hour, $80. Mm-hmm. My hotel for a week in Vietnam was like $300.
Damn.
$350 for a week. Not a day. The whole week. None of my meals, and I ate 3 a day. None of my meals was over $15. So you could eat an entire day easily with $20. Easily.
Damn.
Easily.
When you going back.
Some honey fried chicken, in this huge basket, but they give you a stick and you eating this crispy fried chicken, and it was like $2.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was bananas. It was bananas.
Did you go over there alone?
I went there by myself. Yeah.
See, that's the part I love, man. And only because for me, just personally for me, because I know, us being brothers going back, I know some of the stuff you've been through. So when I see that, like, man, I'm genuinely just so happy for you, bro. Not to say that if you did have a companion, that would mean less, but I love the bravery. Like I always try to tell people, you need to go here, you need to try that. And they'll be like, oh no, I like to stay in my own neighborhood. I don't want to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely ain't going out the country now. You see what's happening in the world. I'm not going out the country now.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
But like for people like you, man, it's fearless. And then you go alone. I mean, obviously you've got common sense. You've got a good head on your shoulders, but a lot of people fear that. And and then sometimes I've run into people who are afraid to travel because they don't have a companion with them. And that holds them back from experiencing it. That's why I say, like, the traveling is the best part of this life, really. Just, outside of our kids and our families, that traveling experience, man, it changes you. You get the mixed cultures. It changes you.
Yeah, man, it changes you. I mean, I've traveled with a small group. I've traveled with a huge group.
Right.
And now I've added traveling by myself to that. And if I had to pick by myself, hands down, wins without even a single iota of competition.
And then especially like with you, and I guess that's considered the South Pacific, right? Is that area considered South Pacific?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't had the pleasure yet, but that's on my bucket list as well. But talk about that, where you're there, you're by yourself, you're in this culturally enriched place outside of the stress of America, outside of the day-to-day 9 to 5 and the grind. And that, what's that feel like, bro? Like
and
I know you can't describe it enough for it to do justice, but like when I describe stuff to people, I hope they get it. Like, give us a little something. Give us a little something.
Man, it's surreal. It's literally surreal. But like, to explain it will have to be like, okay, imagine like you just being in a location where you're not afraid, you're not nervous, you're not worried, you're not on nobody's clock. You don't got to be nowhere at a certain time to meet nobody, to do anything. If you want to go and sit down in a park, take off your shoes and sit there for 3 hours, nothing's going to stop you. And that gives you the ability to slow the world down to your own pace.
Yeah.
Things are going 100 miles an hour around you, and you don't give a shit about any of it, because for you, you slow down. And I will slow down the world, and I literally would go to a park, sit down. I was wearing Crocs. I kicked off my Crocs, had my socks on, kicked them up, just sat there, had a bottle of water, and I sat there for 2 hours, dude, 2 hours, just watching, focusing on my breathing, taking in deep breaths, focusing on the senses so that I could remember this moment forever.
Kind of taking it all in.
Taking it all
like
in.
To breathe. Like that.
The breeze.
For me, real simple, just the offshoot. Like I was trying to explain that to people as recently as just a couple of days ago. Like even just me stepping out to the ocean.
Yes.
Just even locally, just stepping out on the ocean and just take it all in for a second.
Just take it all in for a second.
And then, not to talk badly about South Florida, but you're over there with that crystal clear water. You're over there with that.
Exactly.
The people who know what I'm talking
about.
The people who know what I'm talking
about.
But you're over there in that pristine water.
Yeah, that clean water, the nice clear sand. But when you're over there, like I'm focusing, like, what am I smelling right now? What do I smell? What does it smell like? What does this bench feel like? You got 5 senses that we take for granted sometimes.
We seldom use.
Yeah. What am I smelling right now? I'm going to smell this as long as I can so I can make a mental memory of this smell, because I may never be here again. I may never have this moment again. I'm never going to have this moment again. Because once I get off this bench and walk on, I'm off to another experience, And doing that by yourself is, you're going from one space to the next, to the next, to the next. and it's so much more enriching. When I went to Peru, I went with my two of my boys. We went out there, you know, and all right, we're gonna be in the lobby at 3 o'clock. And we're gonna go over here. Okay, let's go over here. Hey, where's so and so? Hey, did he show up? Hey, we're waiting for him to come. And I'm missing the smells. I'm missing what does this feel like? Hey, I want to sit on that bench. I want to watch this little traffic circle for a little while. You know, I want to go into the store.
Just be.
Yeah, you could just be. And you can't get that when you're with other people, you know, and even if you're with somebody that has that same similar mentality, you're going to consider, okay, are they done? Do they want to leave? Or do, you know, am I holding them back? Or
that's not a bad thing. That's just what happens. You're right. Even if you guys are vibing, somebody's ready before the other. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be considerate. You don't want to be inconsiderate of the person. You want them to get the full experience that you're getting.
Exactly.
You don't want to cut them off, but you're conscious. You may want to still be there, but what if they now suffering because you're enjoying?
Right.
All that goes away when you by yourself, you know. And I do little things here and there to make sure that I keep safe. I do little things to make sure that I keep my head on my shoulders. Number one, you got to be humble. Don't disrespect nobody. Don't get loud. Don't get in your feelings, because you're visiting a culture you may not know.
Right.
You know
right.
what's normal and what's not normal. Now, don't close
remember
your eyes.
You're not in the States.
You're not in the States. You know, and be aware of scams, because there's scams everywhere. Be aware of scams. Watch your money. Keep your things personal. Don't wear no bling. You don't know what people, you know. I'm always about to, you know, I love the bling. I'm blinging right now. You know, I love the bling, you know. But when I'm over there, when I was touring, oh man, I was all about it. I was just bling all out all the time. But when I travel with myself, you're like, no, you know, you're not trying to put that image out there. You just try to be low key.
You just low key, yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah. What I would do is
now that you talk about it, I remember them linen outfits with the badonkadonk chains.
Yeah,
the big watch. I did.
Let me tell you, man.
About that. I forgot about that.
Let me tell you. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's some people like like that flashiness. You know, I used to love when I get off the plane and you come out into the public and everybody's holding the signs up with the names, people they're waiting for. I used to walk by that and everybody just staring at me like, oh, what the hell is going on here? What is this guy? Because I'm also, they don't know, but I'm 6'4". I'm a big dude. So when I walk into the room,
there's presence already.
I don't go unnoticed.
Right. That's wild.
So yeah, man. So you just gotta be very, very aware. You know, little things here and there. One thing I talk about on my TikTok, in my travel hacks, is when I get to a hotel. This is a good one for your viewers. Get to your hotel. The hotel always going to have those little business cards up in the front. You grab a little stack of those, maybe 10 of those. You put one in your passport, a couple in your wallet, a couple in your pockets. Always have a good 4 or 5 of those with you. And you go out, explore for the whole day. You wind up, you don't know where you're going to wind up. To get back, all you got to do is pull out one of them cards, give it to the cab driver, and boom. You don't got to worry about the address. Where's my hotel?
Language barriers.
You don't got to worry about none of that. He sees the hotel, the address is right there. Boom. He puts you right at the door. Thank you, sir. Get the little card. You're going, and you just do it again the next day. That releases a lot of pressure of I don't want to get too far to not be able to find my way back.
Right.
You know,
that's a good tip, man. People don't even think about that, especially first-time travelers. People don't think about that. I mean, I'm mindful of that. So much so that even if I'm within the States, I still take a few of those business cards. And I'm in the city I know just from habit.
Yeah, just from habit. Yeah, it's a good habit to get into, because I've been in a situation where I ventured a little too far and didn't know how to get back. I was lost in an Eastern European country for 6 hours until I remembered that I took a picture, and it was back in the digital camera. I took a picture in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
And I had to, I flipped back to that picture and I showed the cab driver. And it took me like about 6, 7 cab drivers to ask that knew that hotel.
Okay.
Do you know this hotel? Do you know this hotel? But if I had the card, hey, take me there. I want to go home.
Easy. Easy peasy. Yeah, that's a great tip, man. I'm gonna clip this part and run that as a reel, and you can run that on your TikTok too. That's a real good tip.
It's a good one.
Okay, so where were we at? We were talking about shit. We got a lot. We got a lot we talked about, but there's so much shit. Damn.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I got a good quote. I don't know who
Go
said
for it.
it. A good quote. Traveling. No, let me say the quote correctly. The world is like a book, and if you don't travel, you're only living on one page.
Boom. I remember that. Who was that? I remember that quote.
I don't remember who said that. I don't remember who said that, but it's a quote. It's a quote out there, and
I gotta look that up.
I
Yeah, I
heard
do
that quote. And
remember
I was
that.
like, yeah, yo,
Yeah.
that's real, man. That's real.
Uh,
That's so real.
yeah, to me also it just I don't know. For me, I'm in the mode of not trying to project me, even if it's a good me on other people. For me, I just prefer, you know, to be culturally aware, you know, not to dive in a whole diatribe about diversity, but because now they try to
Hmm.
make diversity seem like a bad word. But I just always have been curious about learning other cultures, learning something about
Yeah,
other cultures,
yeah.
learning, you know, certain cultures' traditions, and I really got interested in that back in the late '90s. I was running a record store, and I had this kid that worked for me named Sanjay. He was a college student, and he was Indian, and I got to know his family and his parents and his little sister. And then, you know, like Indian from India, not Native
Right now, I
Americans.
got you.
For
Yeah, I
people that
got
are,
you.
I know you got it, but just to clarify for the
Okay,
people
okay.
that are tapped in, and I just was fascinated by the differences between that culture. So it
Yeah,
just became an obsession of mine, and just to get to know as many people out of my normal circle, or at least learn something about it firsthand by interacting with more different people. So even like that was a good college experience, going around the campus and meeting people from
yeah.
different walks of life. It was a huge dive when I first moved down to Miami to just be around such cultural diversity. Spend time in New York. The energy in New York is completely different than anywhere else on the planet,
Anywhere on
and
the planet.
New York is just different. It's just
Yeah,
beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful, different. Like
yeah,
I can't even describe it to people. I just gotta put you there
yeah,
so that
yeah,
you can feel it.
yeah.
But I what I'm trying to say is, like, for me, that's something I always wanted to do. For a lot of people, it's not. So I imagine when you're over there, you just, like you said, you're soaking in all this culture. You got all this beautiful stuff around you. You got inexpensive accommodations, inexpensive meals every day. You get a chance to be with nature, to
Yeah.
talk to God. You get a
Oh yeah.
chance to meditate, and
All of that.
when
Yeah.
you and of course you're playing it safe because you got common sense. But like, what's that like as a solo person? And then, do you ever find yourself in a situation where you make friends there
Oh
in
yeah.
different
Oh
places, and
yeah.
maybe you'll sit down and have a coffee or cafe, or have dinner
Every
with
day.
people and stuff
Oh
like that?
man.
Because
Yeah.
I love that type of shit, bro. I love that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. That was the best part. I was sitting now. I don't know if I'm a whiskey drinker. So
I used to be a whiskey drinker. They know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I there was this bar right across the street
Mm-hmm.
from the hotel in Vietnam. And I would go there every night and I would have a double shot of whiskey
Mm-hmm.
and I would smoke a cigar because I'm a cigar smoker as well.
I recall.
So I would have my cigar and a double shot of whiskey, and I would just go through the whole rest of the day that I just had, go through the day in
Mm-hmm.
my head. And it was a sidewalk table. It was a table on the sidewalk, and the traffic was going by, and it's nighttime, and the busy streets, and I'm just taking it easy.
Mm-hmm.
One night, there was a table next to me, and it was five gay men. Now, I don't know, I'm gonna say it out here straight, but if you ain't partied with gay men, then you ain't been to a party yet. These brothers party. They have a good time. I'm not gay, but I'm
Careless
telling
and
you,
carefree.
they have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is. So these five gay guys, were sitting next to me, and they were not being loud, but they were having a good time. They invited me to their table.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, let's do it. Because I already know it's gonna be a good time.
Right.
So I grabbed my stuff, went over there, and I was like kind of they were all Vietnamese, and I was like, I was smoking a cigar. And they were like, nah, come on, come on. I was like, okay, cool. So I went over there. Dude, I partied and hang out with those guys for the whole night, man. And they were buying me food. They refilled my drink. And we were just cutting it up and just talking, and just having a good time. And they were making fun of each other, and they were telling me stories about each other and stuff like that. And it was a moment for me that I was like, man, they didn't care I was a black guy in a country where there's you can count on one hand how many black people you see.
Right.
They didn't care about that. They were just out to have fun. And they saw me sitting by myself, and they says, "Hey, join us." And it was just like that.
Like that, man. I love
it. It was awesome. It was awesome. And this one time, I was walking in the middle of the street, busy street, and from behind, I hear some lady yell, "Black man, black man!" So I'm like, "Oh shit! What am I going to turn around slow?" And this lady must have been about 90 years old, really old lady, cataract, missing teeth, wrinkled skin, hunched over, could barely walk. She calls me over, and I go, "Yes." And she starts touching my shoulders, touching my arms, like inspecting me. I let her do what she had to do. I was like, okay. And she just started talking to me. Just was talking to me. Why are you here? Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from? And I was talking to her, and she was talking, "Oh, my name is so-and-so. I've been here. I've lived here my whole life." Blah, blah, blah. That was in the middle of Saigon City, talking to this old lady. I started thinking to myself, like, man, this lady, this ground was a war zone.
Yes.
This was where the war was fought, right here. And she was here. Dude, she's old.
She survived that.
She survived
she got some
this
stories.
war in her hometown. And I got the chance to talk to this lady. And I was like, I felt so privileged. When I finished, I gave her this big hug and walked away. And it was a moments like that. And if I was with somebody, it would have been, "Hey, how you doing?" They would have walked off.
Right.
Or I would have never gotten invited to that table. So I would have probably missed out.
Right. You would have missed out. Because I mean, it even goes back to an old saying. It's like people used to be even ashamed or embarrassed to even go out to dinner by themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sitting at dinner table by himself. Ooh, something must be wrong with him. Yeah. And then there was you remember those days?
Go to the movies by yourself.
You go to the movies by yourself. Something must be wrong with you. Like, but I used to love going to movies by myself because I ain't got to be bothered with chatter.
I still do.
I'm a cinephile. So me and my wife. That's me and my wife going to the movie theaters now. But during the time when I was single, I would go to the movie theater by myself.
Yeah,
all the time. And I'm locked in because I don't want to be interrupted. And then there became a trend of, it's okay to go out and have dinner with yourself. Just take a book. But if you don't have a book, then you're kind of going to look weird. If you don't have a book, you're going to look weird. But now that opened up an opportunity for you to meet some good people. You had a great time. You had some good laughs. You got the experience. You got a great story. And that feeling of being able to interact with real people. And not real just people, the touristy,
not tourist people.
Bullshit. Yeah.
And that's the one thing that Vietnam is not a high tourist area. I was in Ho Chi Minh City, formerly named Saigon City.
Right.
But over there, I don't even think they really refer to it as Ho Chi Minh as much as they refer to it as Saigon. So Saigon is still very much alive in a lot of the signages you see, a lot of the things you see on the signs and walls and stuff like that. It's still Saigon City, but it's not a high tourist draw. They don't have a lot of people that's running to go there,
Right.
So that's one of the things that makes it my favorite, because it still has a lot of that authentic, raw culture, that lack of tourists. They don't have the clubs and they make like a Bayside with all the clubs and bars in one location. Now Thailand is like that. Thailand does cater to the tourists.
You read my mind. I was just about to segue into Thailand. So how was Thailand?
Thailand was it's like going to New York City. It's like a city,
really,
and within the city, you have a lot of the culture, but the culture has shifted, changed, and adapted to a modern city life. Whereas in Vietnam, you still have people that drive, you got, goats in the street, a couple places, you still see people that sells wild animals, like they'll sell ducks and chickens alive. They'll kill them right there for you, put them in a bag.
Dang.
You still have a lot of that going on in Vietnam. You're not going to have that in Thailand. In Thailand, you're going to have your big mall. You're going to have
Mm.
your, and I mean, that mall, I went to the thing with that
So they've
mall.
kind of morphed into a metropolis a little bit.
Exactly. Still great experiences, great experiences. Like I wouldn't recommend Vietnam for a first time traveler to go there. But if you want to travel the first time and go someplace really impactful, Thailand would be my recommendation.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
Okay. And then now let's since we were talking about your TikTok and you dropping the travel tips and stuff like that,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about your day job that you've been
Yes.
doing for a number of years. You are,
Yes.
as I like to say, prestigiously, in my own opinion, you are an educator. You,
Yes,
you,
I appreciate
you,
it. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
you are an educator of the youth.
Yes.
Let's talk
Yes.
about that for a little bit.
I became, when I was young and I told my mom I don't want to be a famous musician. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be famous, mom. I want to be famous. She says, okay, but you could I couldn't travel and do my touring and banding, all that stuff until I graduated college. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the requirement. I had to graduate college before I did any of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
did all my music, did all the touring and all the playing out, all the stuff that I had to do when everything, kind of slowed down to the point that I was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of move on.
Right.
I already had my college degree, so I had 2 degrees. And I said, okay, well, I'll be a teacher. So I am right now a middle school science teacher. I teach seventh and eighth grade science
Okay.
in a Title I school. Um, love my school. My students are phenomenal. And what's funny enough is that a lot of my road stories, I incorporate them into lessons to try and like really tell the youth at a very young age that you know what the education you get in the schools is not even a drop in the bucket of the education you can get out in the world,
Correct.
experiencing the world. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about going to Orlando to the parks or
Right.
going to New York
Right.
to hang out in Times Square. I'm talking about getting out of even seeing some states because we have some states
Yeah,
that are amazing.
we
You
do.
know,
The United States is a beautiful place,
it's
and
an
there's a lot
amazing
of
states.
overlooked beautiful places.
Exactly. But when you learn other cultures and learn to hear other languages and see how other people live,
To me,
completely,
my bad. I was just gonna say it just completely opens up your perspective.
yeah,
It gives you
yeah,
such a better perspective on every situation. I mean,
totally,
it helps you and it helps you navigate life by having understanding of other
exactly,
perspectives and differences and maybe some things that are cultural that you
yeah,
would be not aware of, and which again cause you to get into more issues. But if you have
exactly.
that wider view, you have less issues, and
And
you're going out in this
imagine,
world.
yeah, and imagine how great it is. You're going around, in your day-to-day life here in the States, and you're traveling to different places and gone, and then you run into somebody that, oh, where you from? Oh, I'm from Vietnam. Oh my God, I
Mm-hmm.
love Vietnam. I've been there. Imagine already
Yeah.
you're building with somebody else on a
Mm-hmm.
level that you would not have to build it. Oh, for Vietnam, where is that on the map? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
if you now
mean,
you share experience with different people, because in America, we already know you're gonna run into somebody from everywhere. You're gonna run into somebody from anywhere
100%. Yeah.
right here in this country.
Yes, 100%. Well, especially on the East Coast, whether you're in New York or Miami, you're gonna run into everybody from everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Transient,
everywhere.
transient.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, man. I wanna commend you for being an educator, man. I
Appreciate
remember
it. Thank you.
when this was after the band stuff. This is when you did buckle down and stop wanting to carry your bass all over the place to my chagrin.
No,
And you
that
start
was there. That was there.
yeah, yeah. And there was you had a couple of other gigs then, and then when you got back into education,
Yeah,
I remember the impact that you were sharing that you were making with these kids. And I
yeah,
remember sometimes, you would post some photos and tell about an experience during the day. Like, man, that stuff is incredible, man. And you're
yeah.
actually, now that I think about it, you're the third teacher, educator slash professor. I've had two other educators. I have one professor on the show. Um,
Sweet.
which there's their day jobs, but then of course they're involved in entertainment or running some other business we were discussing. But yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing, bro. Talk about like what you get out of it. Obviously, you're making a living, but I mean, and I think y'all should be paid more. I don't care where you're from or what you do. I think y'all should be paid more. And that's not to get into any discussion about pay or anything like that. But I'm just saying, what do you how does that what do you get out of it personally? Like, how does that make you feel? Because you are front line to how these kids gonna be either
front row seat,
increasing the love in the world or causing more trouble in the world.
Yeah, I got a front row seat. Middle school, most educators run from that middle school age child.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking from 11 to 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That time in a child's life is when they do their most mental and physical growth.
Mm-hmm.
They come into you as babies, pretty much, not even teenagers yet.
Right.
And they leave you at 14, already being a teenager for 2 years. So it's a huge, huge time in their life. And like I said, I work at a Title I school, so sometimes I have, I'm dealing with a lot of the 80% or more of my students in the school are lower income, come from lower income homes.
Now, just so my the listeners and the viewers know, explain what a Title I school is.
So basically, if your Title I school is basically 80% or more of the school population is coming from a lower income family.
Mm-hmm.
So my school usually those schools are going to be in depressed areas or areas where there's Black or Hispanic neighborhoods.
Okay.
Exactly. What you're going to get is you're going to get students that are not going to have that mother, father figure at home. They'll have either one, predominantly just a mom, unfortunately. And you have a lot of foster, orphan, a lot of those children are also going to be going in there as well. But just to be able to have those children, for that brief time and watch them go from babies to teenagers, and you have a kind of a hand in that. You kind of have the holding a flashlight and shining the light on where they should be going,
right?
Not necessarily where they go, And sometimes, like I said, you don't know the impact you have. Like, I don't know the impact I have at the moment, but when I run into them in the street, years later, matter of fact, 2 days ago, I'm at the pharmacy picking up some medication because you get older, you gotta get on medication.
Oh, talk about it.
I had to get my prescription. So I go to get my prescription, and the girl that helps me looks at me and goes, "You're Mr. Amado." And I go, "Yeah, oh my God." And I recognize the face, but she's a grown woman now,
all grown up.
And she's like, "I just want to thank you because, I still remember your class." And we're talking years ago. I taught her in 6th grade. She's a grown woman now, So just think that all this time, and she made a comment and she says, "You know what? Just the other day, my mom asked me if I ever ran into you, I should go look for you." And I was like, "Wow, look at that. I came to you." So, and that happens.
Dope, man.
Awesome. That happens often. It always happens. You run into them at different jobs, whether it's at fast food restaurants or the hostess that seats you at the Chili's or whatever. You want to get to these people, and that's why I pride myself on being genuine, because with middle school, you got to be genuine. That 11 to 14 age group, they can spot you in a second, and they're not going to learn from you if they don't like you and respect you. They're just not gonna. They're not gonna like you. They don't like you. They're not gonna. Teachers have a hard time because they want to be the disciplinarian. They want to be, hard edge and don't disrespect me. No, these kids.
They want to be Joe Brown.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta hug them. You gotta, put a few Band-Aids on.
As you mentioned, a lot of those kids from disparaging situations and households, they don't get that at home. They don't get somebody that's going to listen to them and hear their version of events and hear their side of the story. And you got to, even when and this is just because of me, because I'm a parent, I raise kids, is even when you think it's BS, you still got to hear them out.
You got to hear them
out. Just so they feel heard. That's how you build that respect with them. And I imagine that translates into the students, because you probably
all the time
had a few people coming out. Because I remember you did even post some of the times when you ran into I think it was like a group of 3 or 4 girls that were in your class a few years prior.
Yeah.
And you posted that on Facebook, man. I thought that was awesome, man. I love that for you, bro. I really, really,
Yeah,
really.
no, man. And it's funny because the students that cling to me the most, I would say 90%, 95% of the time is going to be girls. Girls are always the ones that cling to me the most. Cling to me in the sense of when they go to lunch, they have to go to the lunch cafeteria and eat their lunch, and I'm in my classroom by myself. They won't leave my classroom. They come to my classroom to sit in my classroom, to eat their lunch, to talk to their friends. 80% of the times to sit down next to me and watch me eat my lunch and talk to me.
Wow.
And it's a safe space for them.
That's what I was thinking, man.
It's
you
a safe
probably
space
give
for
them
them.
that sense of safety. There's a semblance of an adult male presence, whether it be a father figure or uncle figure, or an older brother figure, but you make them feel safe. And
it's a safe space for them.
Kind of like somebody said to me recently, like, "Oh, you see me." Like you're showing them that you see them.
Exactly. And
That's
I
dope.
get the shy ones. We still have students to this day who still wear the surgical mask that we was wearing back in COVID.
Okay, 5 years later.
Because they don't want to show their face. They're ugly. They don't want to go. They don't want to show their face.
Oh wow.
And I had this no self-esteem. I had this one girl that this last school year just ended. We was someplace and the mask was off. And I made one comment to her and I never saw the mask again. I says, "Is this the beautiful face that you've been hiding under this mask?" I said, "I'm so mad at you. You've been hiding this from me, from us, from the world. How could you hide this?"
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And I just walked off like if I was pissed.
That's dope.
And I never saw the mask again. And this was a girl, she had a lot of family issues, but once that mask came off, her personality changed.
And she probably blossomed and opened
right
up after
blossomed that. Right up after that. Blossomed right up after that, and there's so many stories like that I could tell you, and I mean sad stories. I got one girl who was
I love all my haters. This isn't just fashion, it's a movement. At Retired Rockstar, we turn hate into fuel, proof you're living loud and staying legendary. Featured here is musician Gino Black, rocking the I Love All My Haters limited drop and the G-Shades collection. Tap in and join the movement at retiredrockstarbrand.com. For a limited time, all trucker hats 25% off, and all OG logo tees are just $19.99. Because legends don't wait, they move. Retired Rockstar, live loud, stay legendary.
So I had a student that at 12 years old, she had already been to 8 or 9 foster homes. Her mom, when she was very little, put her into the foster care system because her mom's boyfriend was inappropriately touching her. The little girl complained to mom, said this was happening. Mom didn't believe her, chose the boyfriend, and puts the little girl out as trying to ruin her relationship, trying to ruin my relationship.
And she was how old again?
She was, at the time she went into the system, she was probably like 5 or 6. Went into the system, was in a foster care system, was in a home with like maybe 8 or 9 other girls. And when children are inappropriately touched and go through that kind of abuse, it causes promiscuity in them. So they become very promiscuous. And that's how I noticed something was different, because I said, she's 12 years old and her interest is too focused on the attention of the boys.
Right.
We don't see that until a couple of years later, but this is a little bit kicked up. This is too much.
For that age.
And I took her under my wing, and let me tell you something. This is the first kid I almost came close to like literally trying to like see if I could legally adopt her. Because her story just broke my heart completely, and I would talk to her literally every day, every single day. Got to the point where she trusted me. I was her safe space, and I was also her teacher. So I had to have that separation.
Right.
And she would refuse to sit in her seat. She wanted to sit at my desk when I'm, because I have a lecture podium that I lecture from.
Right.
She wanted to sit next to my podium and put her head on my shoulder.
Wow.
Every day, every day. And I will, I'm very matter of fact and mean. I was like, you know what? Get away from me. Go away.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows I was just fooling her. I didn't
Right.
mean it. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
coming from a mean place. She was like, no, 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 you love me. And she would put her head back. And then the students, I was like, oh, she's your favorite. She's your favorite. She's my favorite, but I had to give her attention a few times. I
Right.
had to discipline her a few times. So then the others were like a little confused. Okay, you can't be afraid because he just gave her detention and yelled at her for not doing her homework. I never forget, she told me one day she's upset. What's the matter? She was like, her mom was her foster mom, is making me see a therapist. And I don't want to see a therapist. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's awesome.
That is amazing.
Congratulations. No. I said, why don't you want to go see a therapist? He says, why? I have you to talk to. I said, but think about it. Now you have two people to talk to. I'm not going anywhere. Give her a try. Because when I'm not available, you have her. When she's not available, you have me. So you got two. Yeah. Okay. Went to the therapist. And from that moment, I saw such progress and growth. And she just graduated to high school this last June.
Okay.
And so she's now, the time I had her was the 7th grade. So was with her for 2 years. And in those 2 years, man, she blossomed and grew and became strong. And
that's great.
I was very proud, very, very proud. We don't get paid a lot of money, but we do get paid. We do get paid. We do get rewards.
Yeah, you get
in some way or another
that reward that you made an impact on somebody, man. I think for me now, I can appreciate that, being older now, just knowing that you made an impact on somebody. I remember, like I was talking about, at some staff that first got me into learning more about different cultures and different walks of life. Is even with that, now I wasn't a teacher, but the workspace that I had created for these kids to come and work, what's cooler than working at a record store when you're in college? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You got a cool ass boss. But just like you, in that situation, I wasn't educating them, but they come back to me years later and say how much they learned from me.
Yeah.
Just from certain conversations and just from watching me, my behaviors, my successes and my failures. And I was always very transparent with them. Like you had mentioned earlier, you try to be as authentic, well, not try to be, but you are as authentic
gotta be
possible with your students. I kind of carry that over. I'm not qualified to teach anybody anything, but when I interact with people, especially young people, I try to be a voice that I can leave with you. You got to have some takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, and you're, as a parent and as a teacher, you're a parent. You don't know what they're going to cling to. You don't know what you're going to tell a child or what you do that they're going to cling to. You could teach, but at the same time, you're doing something else. They may that may resonate more with them, and that they may identify with something else that you may not necessarily want them to. And so you just got to be very, very aware. Like there's times that I got a couple S words go, a little shit go here or in the classroom, But when I do say I apologize for it, and they know when they're in my presence, they don't use that language.
Right.
I hear them say it in the hallway, but when they're with me, they don't say that.
Class, not in front of you, yeah.
But in other teachers, filth mouth. I'm hearing stories like, what do you mean that person curses? I go, that person, do you curse in that class? No. Yes, but not a Jew, I don't. So you shouldn't do it at all. So if you don't, so it's all about how you present yourself. That these kids will pick up on it, and they you know what, they may resonate with the wrong thing.
Like this as a parent. Kids watch what we do. They don't necessarily maintain and kind of. It doesn't sink in what so much we say is what they watch us do.
It used to be you do as I say, not as I do. Those days are done.
Yeah, that's where we grew up. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. But now people, they just watch what you do, and nobody's actually even trying to give instructions out. I find anymore.
Right.
But I think that with you impacting their lives, man, it does have to come with a sense of not only great responsibility, but honored to have been able to impart something on them, and then to run into them later, or they run into you, whatever the case may be, and you see how well they look, or they give you an update on how well things are going on in life, especially if it's a child that came from a traumatic experiences, similar to what you were just talking about there. It's even more important to provide that for them. I remember this, man, so many years have passed, but I don't even know what's what. But I remember at one point you were telling me about how you had a couple of problem kids, like you, like a lot of teachers that I know, you don't really complain about a job like that. So I know your heart's still in it, and that's a good thing. But you were talking to me about some kids messing up and the parents really not being of any kind of assistance to help get the kid back on track.
Man, let me tell you about that. I had two fathers in 2 different years show up to the school to fight me. Like to physically fight me, like to put hands on me. Like we was gonna go hands.
It happened to me. I saw an episode of Abbott Elementary where somebody did that.
Yo, I was bugging. That was like, cause see, that's what I gotta improve on. See, I have to improve on. See, if I sit and tell you that I was raised in the streets and look like I know I was not, but I ain't no punk either. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my problem, where I sometimes forget that professional part of me, and that you fucking want to find out comes out, and they step over there. The father's just talking to me crazy, and I'm like, first of all, if you want this competition to continue, if you can't talk to me like a man, this competition is over right now, because you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. What if I come to the school right now? We talk it out like men. I says, I'm in the front of the school waiting for you. How long you gonna take you to get here? Now,
that's right.
My principal will say, no, don't do that. Talk them down. Come to the parents are always right. The customer's not always right, and the parents not always right either. Right. But what we're seeing now in education is, and I'm sure other educators can attest to this if they even, connected the dots. But I'm gonna take you back to the '90s. Remember the '90s? We had a show. It was in the '90s or the early 2000s. My 16-year-old daughter's pregnant,
16 and pregnant.
16 and pregnant. There was a big move. There was a lot of teenagers. We saw now a big rush of teenagers getting pregnant in that '90s, real early 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Those kids are now the kids that we're teaching in the schools years later.
Yeah.
So their parents had them very young. So mom and dad had an experience where they're now going from a child to a parent, and they're going to use the experience that they had with their parent being a negative one because they got pregnant early
as the blueprint fulfilled.
And I got pregnant early. My mom, we don't talk anymore. We don't speak anymore. So I'm not going to do that to my kid. I'm going to be my kid's friend. So now we have a whole generation of children whose parent is now being associated more with a friend because you had a bad connection with your mom for whatever reason, whether you got pregnant early or you wanted to do what you wanted to do and your mom wouldn't let you. So those children are being raised by friends instead of parents. So what happens there is if I call a parent and be like, Johnny threw a pencil in class and hit Gabriel in the face, and now I had to put a bandage on Gabriel's face because I just wanted to call you, let you know, to talk to him, tell him he didn't throw no pencil. No. Well, what did Gabriel do? What did he do to have him throw the pencil? I had a parent. This is a true story. True story. Just a couple of months ago, I caught a kid comes to school late every day. Every day he's late to school. Every day. We're talking about 10 minutes late. He's showing up 2-3 periods late. He's showing up to school late. So I'm supposed to write him up and put a note in his file as, whatever. He's coming in late. Yeah, tennis issues. So long story short, I called his mom before I do that because that paperwork stays with him through high school. I'm not going to put a negative note in your file without giving you a chance to fix it.
Right.
So I call mom and says, look, mom, whatever's coming to school late, he's coming to school late every day. I know it's not his fault, but I just want to give you a heads up because the school needs me to do a report that's going to be in his file till he graduates high school. He's too young right now. I don't want to do that to, tarnish his record.
Had that on his record, right.
For the next 6-7 years. if we could just, I just want to give you a heads up. Mom told me, swear to God, this true story. Mom tells me, well, if you want him to get to school on time, then you pay for the bus to get him there. I forgot. I forgot what I did for a second for a living. I forgot what I was doing. I was like, "What the hell did you just tell me to do?" Yeah, you heard me. If you want him to school on time, then you pay for the bus to get him there. At least he's there. At that point, I was like, "Man, this is a courtesy call. I'm not trying to ruin his school records
Right.
with a tardy file. You know, maybe okay, I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gonna get there. He gonna get there. Unless you pay for the bus, he gonna get there when he gets there." And I hung up the phone, and he never came to school on time. It didn't fix it. It wasn't like like a all right. Let me start. Let me at least try.
Right. Nothing.
Nothing. Just continue. Meanwhile, mom is home. Doesn't work. Doesn't even get up out of the bed. Because I asked him. Doesn't even get up out of the bed. Wake up to see her son off to school. He gets up, gets himself dressed, gets himself at the door, and walks to school on his own. Mom never wakes up. Never wakes up.
No wonder he's late every day.
If you were 13 years old and you had to get up in the morning and get yourself to school, no one's checking on you. No one's making sure you got the
taking my
house up.
time.
Taking your damn time.
I'm taking my time.
I'm not gonna rush.
Wow, bro. That is wow.
Not his fault. He's doing what a 13-year-old's gonna do.
He is. He's gonna be doing the same thing when he has kids.
And I went ahead, the end of the story, I did not write the report because it's not his fault. And I don't believe in digging a kid at 13 that's gonna stay with him until he's 18.
So what the administration say?
I basically just dodged and ducked. I said, "Yeah, I'll get it in. I'll get it in," and I just never turned it in. I turned in others, but I didn't turn his in because I just didn't feel it was something that,
right,
it was going to be. It was not his best interest. And if I had to defend it, I would defend it. I was like, I spoke to mom. Mom said mom was not willing to fix it, and I feel unfair to dig.
Super nonchalant.
Yeah, not she didn't, and that's not an isolated story. I have tons of stories dealing with mothers and fathers, more mothers and fathers, that the stuff that comes out of their mouth is absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Like what? Dare I ask? There's a couple of words we can't say on YouTube, so I'm sure you can think about what they are. But I gotta hear something.
Yeah. So back in COVID, we had the online school. Worst time
that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare.
Worst time to be a teacher and a student, for that matter. Actually, it was pretty cool if you were a student because you don't have to do nothing. You just sit there. I mean, I was teaching to this, to the forehead. That's what I saw for the whole year. That or the ceiling fan.
Damn.
And there was this one kid never showed up to class. Plenty of kids never showed up to class. I call 8:00 in the morning, 8:45 in the morning. Yeah, ma'am, this is Mr. Amado. Mikey needs to be in class, and he's not logged in. In fact, I haven't seen Mikey in class in the last 3 weeks. How are you going to MFing call my house at this MFing time to ask me some MFing S like that? Going off on me. I mean, she went completely off on me, And I said, "Man, do you understand? I'm his teacher calling because he is not in class."
You're a nuisance to her at this point. You're bothering her.
How can I be bothering you? Like, how can this be a bother to you that I'm calling about your? Her mind was set. I woke her up to get her that crazy. Cussed me a good one. Cussed me out. Yeah, they complained on me. I had one parent. She was inappropriate. She was very inappropriate, and she made an offer to me that was. She had a crush on me.
Okay.
And she made an offer that was
I mean, well, you are a DJ Bg Yeti, so I understand.
You know what I'm saying? And she made an offer that I was like, lady,
she propositioned you.
Yeah, man, yeah. And I was like, I don't know that's gonna happen. Now she won. Now she was fine. I'm not gonna say she wasn't fine. She looked good. She looked good. But you gotta have boundaries. You gotta have boundaries. You gotta have boundaries.
Absolutely, bro. That's wild.
But yeah.
Man,
It gets crazy. It gets crazy.
that like I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that job. Well, maybe I could now, but until now, I lack the patience to do that and deal with all that. So
You'd be surprised.
hats off to you and y'all.
You'd be surprised. I mean, teachers complain about the pay,
Mhm.
and whenever they complain about the pay, you name me a job right now that asks the employee, and the employee will tell you, "Oh, I make way more than I should make for this job."
Mhm.
Very few people are going to say that about their job.
Right,
I know a
right.
I know a doctor who made $350,000 a year, $350,000 a year,
Mhm.
and complained about his job. They gave me 6 patients today. I normally just do 4. How are you going to give me 6?
Damn, he got to work for a living, huh?
I'm like, dude, you make $350,000 a year. You got a boat, you got a luxury car, you got a work truck, you got a house sitting on land with a
Mm-hmm.
farmhouse in the back with animals running around and shit. You got all this. You got a trophy wife, pretty wife, don't have to work, has her own car, a craft room in your house, and you complaining? His alimony to his ex-wife was 20 grand a month.
Damn.
That was his
It's
alimony.
all relative, I guess.
It's
But
all relative. So yeah, so when they
that's
complain
crazy.
about their pay, they complain about their pay. I always tell them the same thing. You signed the contract.
Mm-hmm.
You see the number on the contract. It says it on the contract.
Yeah. You didn't
What
have to take it.
you get paid. And that pay is for 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10-month pay. All right. Now, it could be more, but I think the confusion is that we are called on to do things that in other jobs may not necessarily be necessary. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you work at Chase Bank and you want to print, you don't worry about if there's ink in the printer. You
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about if there's paper in the printer. You just print.
Right.
That's what we got to worry about. We got to worry about getting ink in our printers. We
Damn.
can't just run to the office. Hey, let me get 3 cartridges of ink. I need paper. So I can't go to the office. Hey, I need some paper. I've got to print some stuff. We can't do that. You know, the class is having a hard time with this topic. I go to the office. You know what? It'll be a good idea if we get flashcards. I think we can help them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that in the office. I got to go on Amazon to get that. So
So
I gotta.
it's still that bad where you guys are having to buy your own supplies and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Remember
If you
my
want to help a teacher out, just get them a gift card to Walmart and let them go at it because they're gonna buy pencils, they're gonna buy paper, they're gonna buy notebooks, they're gonna buy wipes, they're gonna buy dry erase markers, they're gonna
Mhm.
buy copy paper. They're not gonna buy like you know TVs and stuff like that. They're gonna buy stuff that they use every day. That's stuff I use every day. Notebooks, paper,
Mhm.
pencils. Number one is pencils. Every day I'm losing 40 pencils a day, you
Damn.
know, and he don't have a pencil. You can discipline him, gotta have a pencil. Does not change the fact that he doesn't have a pencil.
Right,
He still needs a
right,
pencil.
right,
So why are you arguing with him? Need a pencil. All right, go get one out of the box. That's it. Done. Fix
right.
in 2 seconds. Two
That's
seconds is
crazy,
fixed.
man. That is crazy. So that just lack of funding or just I remember my daughter-in-law, she's in education. I remember that was going on when she first started. And she actually even she worked there or she got my son a job there one summer. It's called Teachers Tools in Broward County. And
Mm-hmm.
they used to sell to the teachers. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember her explaining to me that was a kind of a disparity where a lot of times the school didn't have the supplies, so the teachers would have to get it
Yeah.
themselves. or even solicit parents to help contribute to what's going into the class, stuff like that. So, and this was probably over a decade ago. So that stuff's still going on like that?
Well, basically, it's still going on right now. What they're doing now is they've been doing it for the past probably like 6 years. Like they give the district is giving us money just for supplies. So they'll give us, and they give us literally $300. $300, $340. I think it's $340 per teacher. $340, and it's virtual money. So you had to go to this website, right? And on this website, you have links to various retailers. Office Depot is one. Home Depot is another one. And there's a whole bunch of stores that just focus on educational materials, books. If you're a PE teacher, there's a place that you can get basketballs and footballs. And if you're a science teacher, stuff you can get science stuff. And there's a bunch of websites there for you to go to. You go to these websites, you pick out whatever you want, and those virtual dollars will go towards the supplies, and then those supplies will come to the school, and those supplies are yours to keep. You don't have to give those things back. The good thing is that that's available to us. The bad thing is it's $340. So after you buy it for the whole year, that's nowhere near enough.
Right, that's not at all.
But that's not enough. But that's the way that they stick the pacifier in the client mouth. You know, we need money for supplies. We gave you money at the beginning of the year. What did you do with it? You know?
That's raw, man. Teachers get a raw deal.
Yeah, we are. So what I do is, you know, I'll basically just buy it myself, you know, and if any kid I'll you know, I have like parents' night and stuff like that. I have a wish list, and I say, okay, this is my wish list. If you ever want to give me something, I need pencils and copy paper. That's it. If you can just give me pencils and copy paper, I'll be good. I'll be good. Because I like to print. I don't like to go for copy machine. The copy room is like half a mile away from my school. I print right here. I go through a lot of paper. I go through a lot of paper a year. And pencils, even more. Pencils and copy paper. That's all I want. And some parents do hook it up. And others could give a shit, you know?
Damn.
You know? So you look at that, then you look at that, it chips into the pay and makes it seem like, yeah, we are getting paid a little less because we're buying our own stuff.
That's wild, bro. Well, still, hats off to you guys. Hats off to you guys, man.
I appreciate it.
I've also ran it, not necessarily with guests on my show, but just in life, you know, regular basis. I run into teachers that are all disgruntled and angry and frustrated. And I think that doesn't do anything for the child when you go back to work every day, especially if the child sees that. You can feel
there's a lot out there.
The energy. And like you were saying earlier, where somebody wants to be the tough guy or you want to be too easy, or, you know, just all kind of stuff, man. So hats off to you and all the other. I had two other people on here that are in education. Shouts out to all of y'all. Do you want to talk about your hip hop beat making, or you want to like what's like? Because I want to know. I actually do, man, and you tell me I can clip this if you want. I wanted to talk about your health situation, if you were open to talking about that.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Let's talk about that for a bit, because you know I've been you know, just I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been talking, being a little transparent, putting out a couple of clips talking about what I went through with my health stuff, talking about the liver transplant and whatnot, and it started to form some engaging conversations. You know, got a couple of phone calls from people that didn't necessarily know what was going on, because I'm a private individual anyway, but it opened some doorways for me to actually find out ways that I can actually help people to avoid some things and some of the pitfalls, and actually provide a little bit more guidance just by sharing. You know, previously I'm not the sharing type. I don't play well with others. So
no, I feel you.
But yeah, man. So you within the last, has it been 10 years already?
Has not. It's been
so within the last decade.
7 years.
7 years. All right. Well,
7 years.
I want to say you know, thank God that you're still here with
All
me.
praise to God.
And I love you, my brother. I really do, man.
And I love you back.
Like I said, man, even when there's a lapse in time where we don't get to talk to each other, and you know, we haven't seen each other in quite some time because life be lifing. But you're just a solid dude, bro. And
Appreciate
when
it.
you told me this story, I was shocked and awed, and I was elated though when we got the outcome. So you can talk a little bit about that and tell the people.
Yeah. So we're talking about 2017,
Mm-hmm.
18. I was diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and no symptoms. I went in basically for a checkup.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was at the time I was married, and my brother-in-law stayed with us. He lived with us, and he died in his sleep. Died. Never, he went to sleep, never woke up, and he was a couple of years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Had a heart attack, coronary event. Who knew what it was? Never woke up. So that scared me,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that I know is a big push for all men, specifically black men, go to the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
go see that doctor. And so I said, you know what? I think it's time. Let me go to the doctor, have a full checkup. So I went to my cardiologist to do something called an echocardiogram, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically like a sonogram for pregnant. What they do for pregnant women to see the
Mm-hmm.
baby. They do it for your heart. And the next day he calls me and says, there's something we got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Test after test after test after test, cancer. I was stage 4, Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Out of
which
nowhere.
is, yeah, I don't know. It just happened. I had no idea. So basically, had out of his death, I was given life.
Yes.
You know, and that was a horrendous place to be because, yes, I want to celebrate that. I have the opportunity to beat this
Mm-hmm.
where it would have taken me out, but at the time, my wife was mourning the loss of her brother.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very, very, and I think that was one of the things that kind of led to the imminent divorce later on.
I'm gonna let you share. I want to talk about it, but I'm gonna just you share what you're comfortable with, my brother.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but but
So
anyway, let's talk about the health stuff. If that
yeah.
we let's just keep it flowing with
Keep it to that. Keep it to
yeah,
that. Yeah, keep.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. So anyway, long story short, I was slated for 6 rounds of chemotherapy,
Mm-hmm.
and if for those if you never experienced anybody going through that, or anybody going through that, they need your support, man, because that is a terrible thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like before I was diagnosed, I wasn't crippled, I wasn't doing it, I was normal like I am now.
Right.
It went until the chemotherapy kicks in that you start
You start feeling it. Yeah.
feeling things happen, but
Mm-hmm.
that's actually the treatment killing this
The
disease.
cells. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kills every cell. I mean, it kills everything. I lost all my hair, everything. Everything
I
was gone,
remember. I remember.
you know. And at one point, my chemotherapy had to kick up, and I had to be. I went from 4 hours per session to having to go to the hospital for 5 days of straight chemotherapy
Mm.
for 5 straight days, and for the rest of my treatment. Um, on my daughter's 12th birthday, literally on her 12th birthday, she's 19 now.
Mm.
Doctor comes into my room and says, "You beat it. You're done. Your last scans clear. You're in
Wow.
remission." And man, it was like hearing the birds sing for the first time. It's like
Oh.
the gates of heaven just
Yeah.
let you live, and it was a great moment, and it was a very good moment. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, I had to do a couple years of checkups.
Mm-hmm.
But my prognosis going into it was 90%. So knowing that there was a 90% chance of me coming out fine was sort of comforting, but it was still a very long process. I worked all through it, so I was
Mm-hmm.
coming to work, and the thing with
Exhausted.
chemotherapy, yeah, the thing with chemotherapy is it looks like it makes it look like you're tired and exhausted but it's not that. It's the feeling you can be wide awake, like well
Mm-hmm.
rested, but it still feels like you're underwater.
Like fatigue.
like just everything is labored. Like just to lift your hand and say hi, it's like, it's like your hand, and it's not fatigue, it's not tired, you're wide awake. But this is comfortable for me now. But on the chemotherapy, this is comfortable. Like I'm good right here. Like I don't move, I don't want to move because it's labored. It took me, I had to stop 4 times walking from my car to my classroom. I was out of breath.
Dang.
I had to go sleep, but I'm walking. It's like, imagine running up 5 flights of stairs into the top. That feeling without the out of breath. That's just,
damn.
You feel like you got to hold on and take a knee or something. Yeah. But it was crazy. It was a crazy experience.
Mentally,
I'm glad I'm out of it.
How was that mentally enduring and going through all of that?
The hardest part was not knowing what's wrong with you. The hardest part was knowing that you have this disease, but they don't know. You're still getting you're waiting for your prognosis to come through. To know that, you do have it, but next appointment, we're going to discuss where we're going to go with this. We're going to come together with the team, and that moment of not knowing, it kind of puts a wall in front of your life. Like you don't think you're going to live past this wall. Like I can't make plans for next month. I don't know what's going to be next month.
You can't, yeah.
I can't, I don't know if, I like the store. I like the shop here. I mean, I come here anymore. Would I ever see flowers again? Would I ever drink this again? Everything is linked to that. Like everything. Yeah. Oh man, you're seeing the watching the TV and you're seeing coming, this movie is coming out. You're thinking, dang, I'd be here to see that movie. You start thinking about this.
Yeah.
And it's the little things that you don't even think about. That's
that
so
we take
impactful.
For granted every day.
You take it for granted every day. Oh man, I love that song. Damn, I'll probably hear that song again.
Like that became the cycle of thought.
That was a cycle of thought. It was dominating. It was a dominating thought every day with every little thing. Oh man, this is my favorite food when I ever get to eat it again. I love the taste of this.
Were you able to kind of, my turn, were you able to reframe that into what we discussed earlier, where you can get back to appreciating everything that much more?
Oh yeah, you definitely appreciate everything much more at that time. You make that, that's every meal. You're just like, oh my God, I may never have this again. Every interaction with your loved ones. At the time, my kids were smaller, so every interaction to them was very impactful and very hurtful at the same time. Because man, when I see you grow, when I walk my daughter down the aisle,
yeah, I was going to ask about that. How was it with your children during that time of the chemo?
Yeah, they were very young. They knew something was wrong, but obviously they didn't know, what was going on because they couldn't talk.
Ages. Yeah,
because of their ages. They were at the time like I don't know, like 5 and 7 or less. Probably I know they were less actually. They were probably 3 and 5 during that time. So they had no idea. They knew they could have come to the hospital when I was in there, obviously. So it was rough. It was rough for me, but I can't speak for significant others because they have their own path that they go through.
Right.
But for me specifically, it was hard in the sense of trying to raise them, but I just want to heal. Be able to get through this.
Right.
Get through it, and then it puts everything into line, man. It puts everything into line.
Yeah, I know. Like with my situation with my liver, bro, I didn't. Shit, let me tell you, it's a whole new outlook on life. Still, just a much better appreciation for everything, bro. And mine was a little bit different than yours. Mine came to like an emergency situation. It was life or death. Just right now, this is about to happen, bro. For people who are listening, you can check that commentary out on the podcast, and you can watch the video I did about it on YouTube. Man, that's got to be at least I know when I've had situations like that. I've had so many damn major surgeries in my life, but my liver transplant was because of my own bullshit. But it's got to be a period of trying to make sure you don't get depressed during that
Yeah.
time and trying to find something to look forward to. As you said, you're that uncertainty, you're unsure what the hell's going on. And then that's got to be fucking crazy because I remember you told me like it's stage 4. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how? Like,
Yeah.
how? Like, that's why,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, like, that's why I say we need to be going to the doctor, especially black men. Go to the
Yeah.
doctor, not the
Yeah.
emergency room visit,
Get
checkups.
that urgent care. Yeah.
Get that,
Don't
get
go to
that.
urgent care. Urgent
No,
care is for if you
get you,
cut yourself, you need some quick
mhm.
stitches.
Get you a
But that
primary care
serious visit.
physician,
Yeah.
primary
Yeah.
care physician,
Yeah.
and get some blood work on a regular basis, get your checkups on a regular basis, take care of yourself. Because this man just went in and get, some routine stuff checked, and ooh, bro, that would have sunk me. So
It was, yeah, it did, but and it just, the process itself. I went going through that process of actual chemo for about 9 months.
mm,
It was about 9 months of straight chemo, and your outlook is different because you go from now, would I ever see this again, to being motivated to like, okay, I need to get to
mm-hmm.
my next scan and see how this is all doing. Is this
Yeah.
all worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And every time you go to a scan and they're like, okay, well, this was bigger, now it's smaller. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let's,
Right.
it starts to build that confidence again, and you start really
Yeah.
coming out of that depression a little bit, despite that negative feeling. And depending on where you're going to the hospital, I went to the Baptist Cancer Institute. Shout out to Baptist Cancer Institute because
Yeah.
their program. Oh, I mean, you're in the hospital, people, visit you, they want to hang
Mm-hmm.
with you, they have animals, support animals that they bring to you,
Right.
to keep life in there. They're coming in and checking on you, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're religious, you have priests coming to you,
Right.
rabbis, you know, anybody coming to you religiously to visit with you, to keep, people that donate stuff like, you make, because you lose your hair. So one of the big things that they
Mm-hmm.
have there is, people that make knitted hats. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to walk around with a bald head, or your head is cold, you put a hat on. So they have people getting on
Right.
hats and put a big basket of hats. Hey, pick one for yourself. So little things that they do, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and for the children, they have these little cars that they get into the car. The little cars you plug in and they ride around.
Yeah.
They drive,
Yeah. Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
drive around. Well, they have those same cars. They have a bunch of them, like a little parking lot. But the parent has a remote control and controls the car to get onto the appointment. So
Okay. Okay.
so they do little things like that, and they have free coffee and free
Keep your
tea,
spirits up.
free snacks.
Mm-hmm.
They just do so much, you know, that really helps lift your spirits up a little bit, and it really does work. And that was coming, and as I got my remission report, um, within that year, that's when we got hit with COVID.
Mm.
So basically, coming out of that, I went into COVID, and now I'm one of those at-risk people because now I'm immune compromised. 'Cause,
Immunosuppressant. Yeah.
yeah, and so I got that very first wave of the first shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the first dose, and
Mm-hmm.
every month since then, I've gotten all of the different variations of COVID shots,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and happy to say I'm one of the few that has never gotten COVID. Praise God.
I've never gotten COVID either.
Mm,
Never. Never. I had my liver transplant right before COVID started.
yeah,
February of 2020. Right before COVID started. I've never had COVID. So I do understand what you mean when we're compromised having
yeah.
gone through those procedures at that time. Yeah, I never got COVID, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, not for me,
Because, and it's funny because just recently in Peru
Mhm.
was a three with three. We were three. One of the three had COVID.
Mm.
He caught COVID out there. I think he brought it out there with him because we weren't that out long. He had COVID. He was coughing. I mean, coughing bad, coughing bad. And I was like, dude, you got to put a mask on because you're gonna make everybody sick.
Right.
Not thinking it was COVID, but the cough got so bad that he called a doctor to come. He had a doctor come to the hotel. He
Mm-hmm.
had COVID. He had COVID. He had COVID. And then it was funny because in Peru, you can just go to the pharmacy and without a prescription, you can pretty much get whatever you want. So we went over there, and we bought all his medication that needed a prescription, paid for it. It was like less than $40 for all of it.
Damn.
You know, and yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. They was offering. They had a set. They had a thing that was doing for what was that? 40 tablets of Xanax for like $10.
Damn.
Crazy.
Damn. Better than Mexico prices.
Yeah, and I'm a chicken shit. I wouldn't take none of that crap anyway.
Mm-mm.
You know, so I said, oh damn, whoever's likes that Xanax, come over here, stock up, stock up, because yeah,
Yeah, I've heard a few stories of some people bringing back some stuff from Peru. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Man, God bless you for being here, bro.
I
I mean,
appreciate
not
that,
not
man.
on the show, just here. Like,
Yeah, man, I
like
appreciate that.
you are somebody like I say, man, of all the people that I've had the chance to work with in South Florida, you are by far somebody that I've had one of the strongest relationships with.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah, I mean,
appreciate that.
just transparent. I mean, beyond like we joked before, and we joked about we used to be the whiskey brothers. It was a
The
drink.
Whiskey Brothers,
Whiskey
yes,
brothers used to pound back whiskey together. In spite
every
in
session.
spite of what I'm going through now, like I don't have any issues discussing any of that stuff. Everybody knows that I got the Sober Hustle Club now, and I'm actually like a peer coach and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
during those times, man, we just bonded. You know what I'm saying, with the
Yeah.
music,
And
loading
then
in.
all the people that we dealt with, man,
Yeah,
all the different artists. I mean,
all the attitudes,
yeah, the
egos.
attitudes, the egos, and yeah, man, yeah. I mean, one of the people that we worked with
Uh-huh.
really did me wrong, man. Really did me wrong. But
I know.
yeah, I love that brother, but he wasn't right. Wasn't right.
Well, like in my new self now, I think that for a situation
Yeah,
like that, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about too.
yeah, yeah.
But I know exactly who and what you're talking
I ain't gonna say it. That's a whole other
about.
show.
Nah,
That's
nah,
a
we
whole other
good, we
show.
good. But it's like that type of stuff, especially in the entertainment field, man. Like we started off talking about gigs and touring and recording and production and songwriting and stuff like that. Like within the music game, and then, whether we're just talking about the music industry or the music business or just the scene in general, like because it's music, you think you were running into more genuine people, but in all
Yeah.
actuality,
Oh,
in my experience, it's been the opposite.
yeah.
Like, yes, I've met a lot of people, rich and poor, famous and not
Yeah.
famous, but a lot of times I can count on one hand of all the scores of
Yeah.
people that I've interacted with, met with, played with, recorded with, produced for, written with, whatever. And I could just name a few good people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, like
Very true.
I'll be locked in with that person no matter what. Like I don't got to hear from them for 15 years. If they call me and they need something I can help, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like that. Like
No,
you're
totally.
one of those people, bro.
I
And
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
and man, we gotta do this again. I gotta wrap up soon, but we gotta do this again because I want to talk about.
Oh man.
Now we ain't got to go
Part
right this.
two.
We ain't got to go right
Part
this
two.
second. But if you have the time later, because I want to talk about some of the funny ass stories about some of the stuff that we actually were
Oh
doing
yeah.
together at that time. But
Yes. Yes.
let's talk about a little bit of it, and then that'll kind of
Okay.
give us like a cliffhanger, and then you and I can work out another schedule. But okay, so how to be polite here? All right, so you were bass playing for we already mentioned shout out to Danny and Styles from Saturn back in the day. But
Yeah.
we also put together some other stuff that you were working on and we worked on together. Man, you talk about egos, bro. There was this one particular person. There's many particular persons.
There's many. There's many.
There's many, but there's one particular person I felt like, you know what? I'm gonna leave a cliffhanger just like that.
Was it the a person that the instrumentalist that had a very unique style of playing the instrument that was actually incorporated into her name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's just one. That's just
That's
one.
one. That's one.
That's one. That's one. And then yeah, I obviously I'm not gonna disparage anybody's name, of course. We're not gonna do
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
we're not gonna
Can't
do
do
that.
that.
But I mean, I think sometimes I even when I'm scrolling through Facebook, I run across a couple of singers, not that person, but a couple of other singers. When we were auditioning and trying people out, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I know her from somewhere. I know her from somewhere. Like, oh, that was her. She played with us one time.
Yeah.
They played one gig with us, or we rehearsed one time and they fucking wigged out. Or
Yeah.
even bigger, like there was one person I was managing, and they decided to try to turn the whole band against me. Were you with that
Yeah.
band at that time?
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, but I want to talk
I
about
mean,
where.
it's that's happened to me a couple times. A couple
Uh,
times. Not with you necessarily, but it's happened to me a couple times where the band themselves, like I got the opportunity to be working with a producer. He actually got to produce a track on one of Michael Jackson's albums. He's a
mm-hmm.
well-known producer. I'm not going to mention his name, throw it out
Uh-huh.
there, but he actually produced a track for Michael Jackson. We're talking about back in the '80s, so he's obviously a little older.
Mm-hmm.
He had a new project he was working on, and I was in the band. I was actually the keyboard player for that band because I do play keyboards as well. I was the keyboard player for that band, but the band was not loyal to their producer. They were not loyal at all. It was me, my cousin was in that project, and a
Mm-hmm.
couple of guys from the Elements of Soul. That's how we got that gig. Um, and each member of the band attached to a different musician
Mm-hmm.
and was trying to branch off onto his own project.
Okay.
Like one of them would approach me like,
Yeah.
yo, man, you nice with them keys. Yo, let's leave this, man, you and me together. We could do
Yes.
whatever. One guy approached my cousin, yo, you nice on the drums. Yo, we should do something together. Forget these guys and forget him. And everybody attached. But man, it was just cutthroat. But we were the band, the singers, it was a boy band. We was doing a little boy band type of thing. And they didn't know that we were close. The band was close.
Right.
And our loyalty was to the producer, not to them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because he hired us. So we owed him our allegiance, So we
Right.
weren't gonna,
Right.
he's trying to make you. You ain't gonna make it on your own.
Right. That's
So
yeah, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Because I remember I built this one particular artist up uh to a pretty decent size following, and then the particular artist started letting people get in their ear. You better than him, you
yeah,
can do so much better than this person. That person's just leeching off of you. That person's what they say, trying to ride your coattails, old school term.
yeah,
The person trying to
yeah,
ride your coattails. And so that person tried to conspire with the rest of the band and pull a
yeah,
flim flam and do their own thing.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
even to the point where I think they even had somebody at one of the venues. Yeah, matter of fact, I know it was somebody at one of the venues that we played at was also one of the people in the artist's ear. Like, you don't need him. You don't need him. You can do this and you can do that, and try to offer her gigs without me.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
not realizing that I wrote most of this material and I'm the glue with this band. And
Yeah,
like it went off so crazy, like you was talking about loyalty and allegiance. I immediately got the phone call, like, "Hey, what's going on?"
yeah,
Oh, okay. So and then just stupid shit like that ruined the whole great opportunity.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of
Stupid
stories
shit.
out there, brother. A lot of
Yeah,
stories.
man.
A lot of
Yeah,
stories.
we gotta talk about it, man, because you got so many goddamn stories. I think that people would be highly entertained. I definitely want to have you on again, bro. But I know I don't kept you here for a few hours, and then I'm gonna do some edits on there. But anything before we take off, and again, not trying to rush off. Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you want to touch on that you might find important, so we can have it on here, and then I can clip it up so you can also share it on your stuff?
Man, we just covered so much.
This is how it
And
was when I had food on. We just talked for hours,
oh
bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. That's my boy right there. Good
Yeah.
dude. Good
Shout out to
dude.
Fudakoshi. Yeah.
Fudakoshi, man. Yeah, good dude. Man, we just talked about everything, man. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway that I can offer young and upcoming artists
Mm-hmm.
is that find that true person. Find that person, and when you go pick somebody to be loyal to them, be loyal to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many birds chirping in their ears at so many different points in time that, you know, loyalty is just not doesn't exist as much as it used to in any
No.
industry, much less the music
No,
industry.
it's cutthroat. Every industry is
Yeah,
becoming more and more
it's
cutthroat every day.
cutthroat.
But
And the
will
people you
want to add this. I'm sorry, I just want to add this in there. When it's talk about your
yeah,
loyalty, if that person or those parties are doing right by you,
yeah,
that's who deserves the loyalty. If that person
yeah.
is snaking you or
Oh,
trying to
totally.
push something over, like,
Totally.
I know you know that, but some of the people that
Yeah.
listen
Yeah, that's the best way to listen to it. Yeah,
may
that's a good way to
not be
put it.
quick. You know what I'm saying?
No, of
No,
course.
if that person is doing right by you and you see that person really hustling and trying to help you make, I don't care if it's a stagehand or a roadie
Yeah.
or your management. If that person is really busting their ass for you and trying to make shit happen, that's who you owe your loyalty to.
That's your loyalty to. I mean, and even your boys, keep your eye on your boys, keep your eye on your product.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trust your product. I'm not gonna make if I create widgets, I'm not gonna leave my widget creator in someone else's house.
That's right.
You guard your product.
Yeah, those are
I've had a
assets.
exactly. I've had a situation where my boy, he was my guitar player. He played in my band. We had recording sessions.
Mm-hmm.
We've written songs together. How does the track that I wrote that piano part. How
Mm-hmm.
does my piano part end up on someone else's album?
Wow.
My cousin playing drums, recorded his drums, recorded the song, recorded all the drum tracks. And to record live drum sets,
Right,
it's a
right,
it's a
right.
process.
Yes.
Process. The whole drum track with the whole track the band wrote on someone else's track. 2 tracks were stolen from us and put
Damn.
on someone else's album. If you go onto YouTube Music right now, both of those tracks are on YouTube Music right now. You can listen to them right now from this
Damn.
artist. He put them on there. We never got a penny. We never got credit. We didn't even know about it. Only way we know about it was he had a party at his house, and he invited us, and we went to his little studio, and he had a studio in the house, and we went there to chill. And I was like, oh, I know the artist. Like, oh, he got an album? He had an
Mm-hmm.
album. It came out. Let me see it. He had a stack of CDs. I grabbed one. He was like, no, we're not done yet. We ain't done yet. It's in this package, just right here.
Right, right.
Put it in. Track 1. I'm listening to track 1. I'm like, wait a minute. Piano sound familiar. It ain't me.
But it's your
I
arrangement.
wrote that.
Yeah.
I wrote that.
Damn.
Here, next track. My cousin's listening. My cousin's like, is that me on drums? Someone else is singing over that. It's on YouTube Music right now. You listen to it right now.
You got to send me a link to that track. I'm gonna check that out off camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
I want to check it out. I want to check it out. Man, yo, no, seriously, no bullshit. We gotta do this again because I want to pick your brain.
Man.
Since
This has been fun.
you're on holiday for a few more weeks. Now,
I got another month.
Yeah, let me wrap the show, then I ask you real quick. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is my man David Amado. He is DJ Bg Yeti. You can catch him at is it Kendall Ale House, or they changed the name again? What is it now? Miller's Ale House?
It's Miller's Ale House.
Miller's Ale House. That's in South Miami-Dade, right?
Yeah, South Miami-Dade on Kendall Drive. Miller's Ale House, Kendall, on Tuesday night, 8:00. I go from 8 to about 9:15. Bring the family. It's very family oriented. It's a lot of fun. You can win some prizes. It's totally free. You don't got to pay to have me there. They already paid me to be there. It's totally free. The kids really love it because they could play, interact with the screens. So bring your family out there. Also on TikTok, I'm trying to really grow my TikTok following, my TikTok page.
Shout that out again.
Yeah, DJ Bg Yeti on TikTok. That's DJ Big Yeti, Yeti. and you'll see me like the only DJ Bg Yeti in the world. Ain't no other.
Ain't no other one. He ain't got to worry about no kind of trademarks or nothing. He already got it covered, baby.
There's only one.
Now I'm gonna call this brother Genesis, because Genesis was always on the bass.
Yeah, in my era,
on the bass. When Genesis was with Power Blast on the run, he was Genesis. So I'm gonna call him the boy. Mama called him Genesis. I'm gonna call him Genesis.
Oh yeah.
Yo, man, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you, man. I mean, we do this anyway, man, and I like it that you were willing to come on and share your story, man. Especially this stuff about your health. I appreciate you imparting some wisdom for the listeners, man, because I am getting a great feeling based on my own feedback that my channel, my platform, Music Therapy Motivation, is reaching people, man. All that I ask is people on the social platform to start engaging in the comments. Everybody watches them and then they call me and tell me how great it is, but don't put nothing in the comments. Put some in the comments. You know what I mean? I see the downloads downloading, and I see the views and stuff. So I appreciate everybody watching. We just hit 128,000 views for the year.
Wow.
On YouTube, and Spotify and Apple is doing great. We got the partnership with iHeartRadio, so you can download the app for free and listen to us on iHeartRadio. I got David Amado, aka Bg Yeti, and as I affectionately call him, and somewhat of our other old friends, other musicians, we all call him Genesis. The boy named Genesis. Man, thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. This was
I appreciate you, my brother. Much love, bro. Much love.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, much love.
We gotta connect more. And then I'll be talking to you soon, man, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.
Definitely, bro. You know what, man? Come check me out.